much fun with all these different boss babes. It's been awesome. Today, Stephanie is joining me. Oop, and she's here. All right, so while we're waiting for... hi!
Hey!
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
See, okay, I'm like figuring out the whole setup.
That's okay. Do you want to adjust your camera or are you good?
No, I think it's okay. I can see you good. Yeah, how's it
Your
going?
office?
Yes, my home office. You probably see it in my stories.
I know.
It's like my little Zen space within my home.
I love it. I still have not hung up the poster that I ordered that's behind you on the wall.
Oh, you got that one, right?
I love that one.
Good. She's my favorite.
So
I know. My dad, we did I think it was the Palm Beach art show we did, and she was there for sale, and I was like, please, like, I secretly want her. So I was able to take her home.
I love
her.
Oh, and Vanessa.
Hi, Vanessa.
Hi, Faith. Oh, there's so many people. Amy, tons of people. Well, we're so
amazing.
They're here. And this is, for people that don't know, this is Stephanie. So I'll let Stephanie introduce herself.
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Stephanie Robilio, newly married. Yay. It's fun to say that.
Did you hyphenate?
I'm sorry?
Did you hyphenate?
No, I'm just keeping Catalano for now because of branding purposes. So until Robilio becomes known, then I'll drop Catalano. But for now, Catalano Robilio. I live here in Fort Lauderdale, so I'm a true Floridian, born and raised, and my career has kept me in Fort Lauderdale. Spend a little bit of time actually in West Palm, but that's where Amber and I really connected. And my background, I'm a licensed clinical social worker, life coach, personal development author, and the host of a podcast, which was inspired through my most recent workbook, Mindful Makeover.
Yeah.
And so I'm
wearing the shirt.
Yes, and I'm wearing yours. I'm in love with it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So yeah, my background, it really started working with children and families in foster care. And that's the first job I had straight out of undergrad. And it's really interesting because when I think about my line of work, it's always been pretty parallel with what was going on in my life. And so I didn't realize that probably up until like 2 years ago, the light bulb went off, that everything that I've done in my career has reflected something that I've gone through as an experience in my personal life, which is pretty interesting and also pretty beautiful. So it started off working with kids in foster care, and then it evolved into working in treatment industries where I serve those struggling with mental health and substance use disorders, or as I like to say, substance use responses. And I currently serve as the clinical director for a treatment center, so I'm still involved in the treatment world twice a week, which allows me an opportunity to still work with those struggling with mental health, trauma, and addiction. And 2 years ago, I opened my business, Mindful Living, which is really exciting. It's like,
I know.
Yeah, I know you relate. It is, especially when I was once that person that I never in a million years would have ever believed that I would be living the life of an entrepreneur, because I'm type A and I like structure and I like security and I like to know what's next, a little bit of liking to be in control, which I think most of us can relate. So it's cool to be in a space now where I'm creating the life that I want and I'm allowing my business to be what it is and using creativity and all that fun stuff.
That's awesome.
Which you don't get to really do sometimes in a 9 to 5. So
absolutely. But it's fun because I've gotten to see the whole process. So I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. I know. I was actually thinking about this morning how when Soul Grateful became alive, or it was, became born, it started with jewelry, and it's been cool to see you too. I was just telling Michael, I'm like, I'm so proud of her. She has a whole line and it's like amazing.
Thank you. I know. Yeah. I was saying yesterday that my trademark for jewelry is going to expire this year if I don't use it. So I'm like, I want to get back into it, but that's like definitely giving me the little nudge to get back into it.
Sure.
So, yeah, I'm super excited to get back to like the roots of it. Yes.
Yeah, it's exciting. Good. Oh. Yeah, so that's Go ahead.
How many books do you have now? Because I know you're working on is it your fourth one you're working on?
I am. I'm in the process of writing my fourth book, and it's been a roller coaster. I was so sure. I was like, I'm going to have this book done by March, and it's going to like kick ass, and I'm ready to go. And then COVID, well, first of all, the new year came, then COVID happened. So like it set me back a little bit, but I finally am at this place where I'm releasing attachment to when it'll get done. And I'm noticing that it's becoming more fun, and I'm not having as much writer block. I'm back into like,
it's like taking pressure off of it.
Exactly. Yeah. But this is my fourth book. My first two are actually short books of poetry. So
I remember when I shot the photos was that the first or the second?
No, you took it was for Bona Fide Spirit, the first one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where we lived so when we were in West Palm, we were neighbors. And our courtyard in the middle, we did that one morning before work.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I feel like we might have did it for Painted Soul too. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Did we what?
I said we might have done it for Painted Soul too. I can't remember if we did it for just the first one or the second one too.
I know we definitely did it for the first one. I have all of your books, so I'll have to go look and see.
Yeah, we weren't roommates, but we both lived in this cute little development that had like the most stunning courtyard. And Amber, you were into photography. I don't know if you're still doing that, but it was like, we doing photography?
Phil does more of it, but we had fun that morning. I literally rolled out in my pajamas into the courtyard.
I know. Yeah. But my first two books, I had no idea that I even had a writing ability until going back 8 years ago. I was in a pretty dark space. I was feeling really empty, really lost, really confused. And I made the bold step to live alone, which it was like the best gift I ever gave myself looking back. But in that time, I was really intentional with not having TV or internet, as you know, for the first X amount of time. Yep. And every day I would go to work.
I didn't have TV either when I lived alone. I think it just forces you to really just be with yourself, work on yourself, love yourself. Yeah.
That's right. And for me, my pattern had always been go, 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 go. There was never time to sit down and sit with myself. I didn't even know what that meant, to be with yourself. It was always just work, go, and always involved in something, and never really had an opportunity to be alone or to get to know myself. So in that time of not having access to TV or internet within my home, I would come home every day from work, and I found myself picking up the pen and paper and just writing. And I had no idea what I was writing. It wasn't like I was trying to write something. I just felt that I was writing. And then before I knew it, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm writing poems. And I had no idea that I had the ability to write poems. And so I then obviously became a little bit more intentional with my writing. And I published my first book, Bona Fide Spirit, which is a short book on poetry and quotes. And then I felt really inspired to keep writing. And I found that writing was really the one outlet that in some way I was not only finding myself, but saving myself, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So I continued with writing, and then I published Painted Soul, which is another book of poems.
That's like one of the best names, seriously, for a book. I love it. Love it.
Thank you. Thanks. I see my brother just joined. Hi, B.
Hi, B. Hi. How old were we all when we met?
How old were we?
Yes.
Well, we went to Morningside Academy together. So I probably was in middle school, and maybe you were in middle school, because I would remember Christina, your sister, me and her, I think I'm one age above her. And so I remember I was always hanging out with her, and you were like the older cool sister, and you were remember there was lower school and upper school. You were in upper school. We were in lower school. Like, oh, we want to be in upper school. And then obviously our families are close.
Vinny says he was 8.
What? No, he was in 3rd grade. Christina was in 5th.
Oh my gosh.
So that it's been our whole lot. Yeah.
Yes. But we really connected in West Palm. Yes. Okay. I'm just trying to think of how long it's been. As Vinny came on, I'm like, oh my God, how long have I known him?
Yeah. Your sister. Yes, Vinny is right. Yeah. And remember even that, life gets busy. So we were all pretty close in, growing up, and then you're doing your thing.
Say, how social media keeps people we're aware of what's going on with each other, but we're not seeing each other every day.
We're not seeing each other.
we always did keep in touch, but yeah.
Yeah. And I think I might have shared on probably even on Facebook, like, oh, I'm moving to West Palm, and maybe you wrote me. Yeah. And then we found out I was moving into your building.
Yep. Yes, I know.
Yeah. And that's how.
20 years. Yeah. No, it's been
so,
awesome.
But yeah, with writing, I mean, that's really how it began with writing poetry. And it was just really a way for me to cope with everything that was going on in my life and healing parts of my past that I didn't even know needed to be healed. And then fast forward, now have a private practice. I'm still serving as a clinical director. And then I found myself in meditation, believe it or not. I meditate every day. I would come out of my meditation and I was having these like real big impulses to write, like these urges to write. So I kept writing. And believe it or not, my husband, Michael, was like, you should probably collect all this stuff you're writing and put it together. Because I had a journal here, a notebook there, a Post-it note there. And I sat down and I formulated everything together. And that's when I realized, oh my goodness, I'm actually in the process of writing a workbook. And I had no idea.
Is that how Mindful Living was born?
That's how Mindful Makeover was born.
I'm sorry, Mindful Makeover, yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Beautiful.
I had no idea that that's what it would be. I ended up creating it.
Inspired.
Yeah.
Very cool. And I love that he was a part of it. Sometimes it's so nice to have your significant other like really appreciate your work, but then be able to even elevate you more with it, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. Especially because I know for me, I never thought I would be pursuing, part of my career as an author. Like that was just not in the books. I didn't even think of it, And now after seeing Mindful Makeover and how it's touched hundreds of people's lives all over the world, now I just feel like more inspired to continue to write. And I realize I have a lot more books inside of me,
So you're working on number 4 and have you like shared anything or is it a secret?
I haven't shared much about it. This one, I know it's going to be bigger and better than Mindful Makeover. And I never thought I would say that because Mindful Makeover is so dear to my heart, but
I love all the art in it too. Your father is amazing. Like,
thank you.
So talented. Yeah.
No,
crazy.
Yeah. I think that's one of my favorite parts about the book is that it's more than just a workbook. It's a complete experience, with all the art and color and
No, I love
beautiful.
It. Yes. I did it with, my stepdaughter Janessa. I bought us both the books and we did it together.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
How was it to do it with her?
It was beautiful. And I mean, this was before I had Antonio. So like I wasn't a mom at all and I'd never done something like that, like in such an intimate setting. And so it was beautiful to experience like that as well.
Wow.
No, you did a wonderful job with it.
I have another friend who she did it with her. It was her daughter, and the daughter I think is 16, and she did it with her, and it was so cool to hear their experience because I think that's one of the things I love most too about the workbook is that it's not specific to just a certain age. You know what I mean? Like it's certainly not for an 8-year-old, but the moment there's a teenager all the way through, you could be 65, 70. The workbook applies. Mm-hmm. Just cool.
That is beautiful.
I'm glad you got to do that with her.
Thank you. Have you seen some of these comments? I'm dying laughing. Your mother kills me.
What did Mom say? Hi, Mom.
She always wished that Vinny and Christina would have got married because how beautiful the babies would have been.
Yes. Seriously.
They would have been gorgeous.
Gorgeous. That's so funny. I can barely see. I'm just seeing people joining. Hi, everybody.
I know. Hi, guys.
Yeah. Thanks for being here with us.
And so now so how long have you had your podcast?
I started the Mindful Makeover podcast July of 2019.
Okay.
And I just recorded episode 30. I'm pretty excited about it. And
so are you on you're on Spotify, right?
Yep, I'm on Spotify, iTunes, and I just launched a YouTube channel. So I've been uploading all my podcasts to YouTube as well.
That's awesome.
I'm learning. It's funny. Maybe you relate with this as much as social media is so beautiful, especially when we're using it for things like this and obviously getting our message out there and our work out there. If I'm transparent, there's that part of me that's like, oh my goodness, another platform that I have to keep up with, like I don't want to do that part. I just want to create and share and connect, but
trust me, Phil just got a YouTube and I was like, I'm not helping with that at all. You have to go ask someone else.
Oh yeah.
It's a lot.
if it weren't for my husband, I probably would not be nearly as seen on social media as I am, because he's so great and quick and techie and can figure it out. And I'm like, no, I have no interest in sitting there waiting for something to upload and download, you know? So,
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I like figure it out as I go. I'm like, have you done this? No, but I can figure it out. So I'm like YouTubing and Googling, how do I do this?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you guys just got married. So how long has it been now?
We got married February 2nd of this year. Yeah, just in the nick of time. We keep saying, thank goodness we planned it when we did, because if it were any later,
you would have. I feel so bad for all these people that have had to cancel their weddings. And,
I know.
Or people that are pregnant and haven't been able to like enjoy their baby shower or have their spouse with them, and you know the hospital.
I know.
Very
sad.
I
know a couple people who they've postponed their weddings because of it. It's so sad and just kind of interrupted everything. But I keep, you know, I think in some ways, as much as this whole COVID has brought a lot of good to people in the sense of we're being given the gift of time that we usually don't have. And I also feel like now more than ever, people are starting to wake up because they're being forced to really examine not only their life, but the bigger picture of whatever's going on around them. So in some ways, as sad as it is to see certain people had to postpone weddings or baby showers, bridal showers, things like that have been canceled, I really do hope that people have used this time to become better, whatever that means for him, her, there, you know?
Absolutely. No, I say that all the time. I said we're being given the gift of time. Like we always say, I know I say it all the time. I don't have enough time to do this or this or this. And so like we are in a way almost being forced to shut down and reconnect with those that we say we love. And it definitely, I'm sure, is trying. I mean, everybody like to just be quarantined. Like I know you live with Michael, but now you guys are really together, like Phil and I are really together. Like
yeah,
you really know if you like that person, you know, because it's a lot. So
yeah, I've been hosting a Zoom call every Wednesday just to hold safe space for people who might be struggling and wanting a place to connect. And so this Wednesday we were talking about that, how, you know, all of us as humans, we're creatures of habits. So we're in our routine, we're set in our ways, we like to know what's coming next. And with COVID, we're all sitting in this bucket of uncertainty. And yeah, some of us, whether we have partners, husbands, wives, or we live with roommates or even family, it has been an adjustment, you know? And I think that, at least for myself, being transparent, it's reflected a lot of parts within me that I thought were maybe resolved or not still necessarily a problem. For example, you know, coming from a person who I struggle with OCD tendencies, and I like things to be a certain way, and I like things to be organized, and I'm really set in my way, especially during the week, because when I go into the creative space, it's really important for me to have certain things a certain way. And, you know, this experience has showed me, no, that's me projecting how I think it should be, right? And it's really required me to look in and recognize, wait a minute, what is coming up in me that I feel the need to try to control whatever is outside of me? And I think that that's a powerful lesson for me to continue to remind myself, but also for all of us, because the reality is we can't control anything that's beyond our control. And the only thing that's within our control is how we choose to show up moment to moment, whether it's within our household with our loved ones, whether it's in the workplace, whether it's when we're on the phone with a loved one, or when it's when we're home alone and with ourselves, right? Like, how are we showing up for ourselves? And what's the language that we're speaking to ourselves and to our loved ones? So in a lot of ways, I'm grateful, or so grateful, for COVID, because it has highlighted things within me that I'm like, ooh, I need to put some more love there. There's still parts within me that need a little bit of more love, and they haven't been necessarily triggered in a while. So I thought it was just good. You know what I mean? Because it's not coming up for me. But now stuff's coming up, and I'm having to really look in and keep myself aligned and staying committed to my spiritual practices that I know really serve and support me. So
I can't agree with you more, and I admire you for sharing that.
Thank
On
you.
a lighthearted note, I'll tell everyone that Stephanie used to like walk into my apartment and be like, Amber, just let me clean, please.
I know. You know, it's funny. I remember, and it's funny you bring that up. I guess because I've been thinking about you in this call, and I was just kind of thinking about old memories and whatever, going to your apartment. And just yesterday, I was like, oh my gosh, I remember walking in being like, please, like, and I think one time you let me. I think one time you were like, whatever, have a field day.
You were so happy. You were like,
I cleaned your entire apartment, organized. I know.
You're the best. No,
yeah.
No, we all have our stuff. Trust me. Like I feel the same way, and I say it all the time. Just adjusting to us both being home, my husband teaching classes, us not having any doors. We live in a 2-level loft, so no doors. Like, you know, and being like patient, like, okay, you know, like some days I'm like, oh my God, just shut up. Like I would never say that. I say that in my head. And then I have to remind myself, like, no, he's working. He's making a difference. He's doing his thing. Like, yeah, it's loud. And like, yeah, we're not used to all being in this small space. Him trying to work, me trying to work, and have a newborn. Like you said, it almost makes you reflect back on yourself. Like, okay, don't think like that. Like, rewire what you're thinking, because you are grateful for what he's doing right now. And like, of course I am. But in that moment, sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, you know?
Yeah. And I think it's a powerful reminder that in life, no matter in relationships, just with people, places, situations, that sometimes if you're that individual who's committed to doing your work and you do it daily, and you get to this place where you think you're doing well and you are aligned and you're living a life that feels good, it's only natural that there's going to be that time or that person or that thing that triggers us. And so something that I would share to anybody on this live that maybe this is resonating with you is when you find yourself being triggered by something, no matter how big or how small, because a trigger is a trigger, really, really taking ownership in viewing a trigger as an opportunity to look in and to find the place within you that is being bothered. Because I was once that person who constantly was blaming people, places, things, stuff that happened in my past for who I was in the moment, only to wake up and realize, no, it has nothing to do with people, places, or things or stuff that happened in the past, right? Because we only have this moment. So if you are that person that you find yourself feeling triggered through COVID, outside of COVID, really slow down and take ownership of looking within yourself and asking yourself, what is happening within me to feel this way, right? What is this situation revealing within me? Or what is this trigger telling me? What's my body trying to communicate to me? And really taking the time to get to know what's going on and get curious, as opposed to just blaming something outside of yourself, because that's the easy route. Mm-hmm. I've learned blaming is the easy route.
And what tools do you have that you use right now, especially being quarantined, that keep you centered, aligned,
sure,
the best version of you?
Sure. So for me, the mornings are really important because I believe the morning is what sets the tone for the entire day. So I'm really disciplined in the morning. We're up at 5 a.m. I'm exercising, I'm praying, I'm meditating, I'm journaling. You know, I really use it's like a power hour where I'm focused in, tuning into myself and doing the things that feel good. That might be a bit much for somebody. So I would tell you that, you know, I believe, you know, we're made of mind, body, and spirit. And if you can get into a rhythm of feeding yourself every day, mentally, physically, and spiritually, you're going to set yourself up to not only feel good, but put yourself on the path for major success. And so that could be, you know, maybe you wake up and you meditate for your mind. Maybe you go on a quick walk or do a 10-minute yoga flow for your body. And maybe for your spirit, you will say affirmations, you'll put on music, dance, anything that makes you feel good. And you don't have to do this for hours, even if it's just 3 minutes, feeding into mind, body, and spirit. So that's something that I try to do in my own life. And it's something that I offer to my clients. I think it's really important. But also just being aware. I think that's probably the biggest gift you could give yourself, is really being aware and paying attention to how you're showing up, and really taking ownership about not only how you're showing up, but how do you want to show up? How do you want to feel? Who do you want to be? And really paying attention to your thoughts and your feelings. And when you find your mind wandering to the past or wandering to the future, don't just let it wander, right? Notice it and take control and redirect your attention, because your focus and your intention is absolutely everything. And I think sometimes we don't really talk about our focus, but that's a huge part of life, right? If we're constantly focused on the past or focused on what's to come, then we're literally allowing ourselves to die in the present moment, because we're not living right now. And so I think the best advice I could give you is just pay attention and focus, focus on what it is that you want and what makes you feel good, and on the things that actually serve and support you. And when you find yourself feeling no matter what you're feeling, honor your feelings. You know, I think that's big too, especially during COVID. I think right now people are feeling all kinds of things, and whether it's anxiety, uncertainty, you're angry, you're frustrated, you know,
oh, girl.
there's so many things coming up for people.
Yeah, absolutely. Trust me, I had a meltdown today because I ordered takeout food and I wanted vegan nachos so bad. Like, I just so badly wanted vegan nachos. Yeah. And we don't order out at all. Like, we never order out. But then I'm like, let's support the local businesses, my favorite places, I get the nachos. I'm so excited. It's all the toppings, no chips. And we don't have, like, any chips in the house. And I, like, was ready.
Did you lose it?
I almost cried. And I looked at Phil and I said, I know I'm throwing a temper tantrum over nachos.
Yeah,
like,
but
I was just so disappointed. I was so disappointed. And I was just like,
yeah.
But
I think that's a valid tantrum to have because nachos are the jam. So, are you eating vegan now? Have you been eating vegan or trying to?
You know, I was primarily vegan when I was pregnant. Just because like that was what was everything changed like taste bud wise. Like it was really weird. Like in the beginning I was craving a lot of citrus, and then I was craving, like I couldn't do meat. In the beginning I wanted red meat, then I couldn't stand red meat. So like I'd say 3/4 of my pregnancy I was vegan. And then after the baby came, we got on a meal plan just for it to be easier, like with work and everything for Phil, for me to not have to worry about prepping. And then I had the emergency C-section, so it was just too much. Well, I was on a meal plan and I was on the paleo plan, which is all stuff I love, like fish, chicken, turkey, red meat, everything. And it just was not sitting well with me or the baby. Actually, it was sitting a little bit okay with me, but it wasn't for him. And I looked at Phil and I said, I was vegan most of the time that I was pregnant with him. He probably used to this. And I was starting to feel a little, like, not my best. So I went back vegan, and it's probably been 3 or 4 weeks now. And
good for you.
I feel great. He feels great. So we're going to stick with it.
Yeah. So a year ago, it was May last year, someone introduced Michael and I to What the Health, the Netflix show. I don't know if anyone's seen it.
I've heard of that. We've never seen it yet, but I've heard of it.
Oh,
we need to watch it.
For me, we watched it and it was like instant. Like there's no way I could ever go back to eating how I was. I made a commitment that night that I'm going to give up meat. So actually mid-May is going to be 1 year of not even like a piece of pepperoni. It's mind blowing because
huge. That's awesome.
Yeah. And I've been really good to like no dairy, every now and then like feta cheese or something on a salad. But I used to be that girl that would come home and eat like a block of cheese and salami, you know, thinking I was healthy. Like, what was I doing?
I say that all the time. I used to go out for wine and cheese and do like the cheese board and be like, oh, I didn't have bread. I just had the meat and the cheese. That's no carbs. That's healthy. And like, oh my gosh, my poor stuff.
Yeah.
I think about
it. And I'll tell you, I've been, for the past year, I've been juicing celery every morning on an empty stomach.
How is that?
It's awesome. Followed by, you know, I think I told you about Medical Medium. So between doing that.
I need to do it.
Yeah. Between doing that and eating primarily a vegan diet, I feel incredible. Like, never mind my energy and I'm sleeping well. But for me, a big thing is my neck and shoulder pain, which, you know, used to have me in tears some days. It's completely gone. And my anxiety.
Really?
Yeah. Like my mood is just so much better. And I notice that I'm no longer struggling with anxiety, which is really big for me because
that's huge.
I've had anxiety for most of my life. Yeah. So
that's beautiful. That's something, you know, like I just need to make time to do it. But I've heard a lot of fabulous things about the celery juice.
Yeah.
I've been dairy free for maybe 3 or 4 years. It's been a long time. And I noticed a huge difference too in everything. A lot with my stomach, and when your stomach doesn't feel good, at least for me, it makes me anxious. So like not having stomach issues for me helped my anxiety a lot.
Yeah, sure. You don't even realize that. Like I think about me, I'm like, I thought I felt amazing then, you know, because I had nothing to compare it to.
Right.
You know, so
it's connected to your mind, you know, everything's aligned.
For sure.
We have to try to stay as aligned as possible, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. So if anyone's interested, I would share with you, follow Medical Medium.
Yeah.
And take his suggestions with celery juice because it's been life-changing for me, and I have a lot of my family members are also doing it, and they've noticed big changes too. So, you know,
That's awesome.
Yeah, really cool.
I want Phil to do it for his neck. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's done wonders for my neck. I'm like so thankful that I don't have pain like that anymore. It's not fun, you know, to come home every day just with like rub here, if not, you know, like help.
Take a bath.
Yeah. What's Mom's saying? Dairy creates inflammation, which causes most diseases, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing, you know, also I would recommend watch What the Health, because maybe some of you have. I learned so many things that I didn't know. And, you know, for me, I honestly felt like after watching that, I have an individual responsibility to do good to my body. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Hubby juices for me every morning. Good job.
Oh, Tracy, you're lucky.
Yeah. Shout out to your hubby. Yeah, that's what my husband does for me too. I think that's one of the reasons I'm staying so committed, because I have someone helping me.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so jealous.
Yeah. Yeah. Does anyone, maybe if people have any specific questions, like,
yeah, absolutely,
want to put them in the chat about mindfulness or anything that maybe you're struggling with? I need her hubby, my mom says.
Oh, my doctor suggested I give up dairy and meat, but it's hard for me to give up cheese and turkey deli meat. Oh, I know. But you know what? Vegan cheese is really good. Have you tried the Mykonos cream cheese?
Yes. Yeah.
I love that. That is like my favorite thing.
Yeah. And you know what? I was once the person, one of the reasons I never committed to
People are
eating more.
requesting a vegan meal plan.
From like what I eat? Is that what you mean?
Maybe what we, or yeah, maybe we put a little.
We can come up with something together and share it in the, yeah. I mean, for me, I'm just mainly eating, you know, my mornings are celery juice, and then I wait 15 minutes because that's what medical medium recommends. And then I consume, we make like a green smoothie that's like spinach, kale, turmeric, ginger, lemon rind, blueberry, strawberry. So my morning is juicing. And then for lunch, I'll always just do like a nice big green salad. And then usually dinner, we're just doing another salad or vegetables too. We still eat fish. So every now and then we'll have fish or shrimp in our.
I love fish. That's
me too.
Yeah, I will never be able to give that up. People are, word of the company. Oh, What the Health was the Netflix show, correct?
It's Netflix. Yep. It's called What the Health.
And yeah. The cream cheese was Mykonos, like the island in Greece. MYK.
ONOS. Yeah, Mykonos.
I slept like 3 hours last night. My adorable baby had me up all night, so I am like, I feel like my brain is like gone. What was the recipe for celery juice?
So celery juice is, I use an entire stalk because it's serving 2 people. So I don't know how much it would be for one, but it's suggested to consume 12 to 16 ounces of celery juiced on an empty stomach first thing in the morning. So this is the first thing that's hitting your body before anything else. And then it's suggested you wait at least 15 to 20 minutes before you consume your coffee or breakfast.
How are you drinking coffee? I've heard a lot of people who started to celery juice said that they like, their body didn't like the coffee, or they didn't need the coffee, or they didn't like the taste.
Yeah, so for me, I've never drank coffee because it did something for me energetically. Like caffeine, I usually don't feel, but I just really, really enjoy a whole mindful moment with coffee. So I'm not giving up coffee. But I only have I have 1 cup a day, so I don't feel at all bad about it. No. But there's something about the experience of having coffee that just like lights me up. So
I love, before I got pregnant, I was drinking energy drinks, you know that. And I was addicted to those, okay? And then when I got pregnant, I was like, I ate clean and I was very good, but I went like to a whole other level. Because now I'm like, everything I'm putting in me, he's getting. So I completely obviously stopped the energy drink, but I went back to drinking a cup of coffee, and like the same thing, like fell back in love with it. It's that whole process of like making the coffee and the smell of the coffee and the warm cup itself. And it's just.
Exactly. Yeah. The whole experience.
I was going to say, you post that sometimes on your Instagram, and I think it's adorable, but you're like, I love washing dishes, because you say you enjoy the whole process. Well, you can explain it because you explain it so beautiful, but that's what I was going to.
Yeah, well, for those of you who don't know, I teach mindfulness. That's probably one of my favorite subjects to talk about. And it's really because mindfulness changed my life pretty drastically going back 8 years ago. So I've been on this journey of living a mindful life for 8 years, and I've been teaching it for 3 years now. And, you know, mindfulness is about living in the present moment. It's about being aware with all of your senses. So what I like to tell people is, you know, it can be when you're washing the dishes. For me, that's my favorite moment sometimes, because usually right after you wash, when you're washing the dishes, you just had some delicious meal. So you're standing there, you can still taste your meal. You can feel the hot water. I'm obsessed with making bubbles, so I intentionally squeeze the soap so bubbles go everywhere. I can feel my feet on my cold tile floor. And the idea is that I'm so immersed in that moment where that's all I'm thinking about. And it just makes me feel really alive. And so that's, you know, I always share whatever feels good to you, but if you're interested in mindfulness, creating mindful moments in your life where you really are allowing yourself to be aware with all of your senses, taking in what you hear, see, smell, taste, feel, and really becoming immersed in that, because it's not often that we actually are doing that. We're moving so fast every day. And I always say we get caught up in like this hamster wheel. We just wake up, go through the everyday motions, fall asleep, wake up and do it again. And there's so many cool things that are happening all around us all the time. Even the little things like look at the clouds, you know, they're so beautiful. Or the butterflies and the birds that are chirping. We overlook all this. And sometimes we don't even see it or hear it because we're so caught up in here. So for me, washing dishes, you know, it brings me great joy. Yeah.
Have you not
I don't cook
that-
though. I don't cook at all. I'm trying, Mom. And husband.
There's more birds, there's more butterflies, there's more.
Oh.
Have you noticed that? I mean, like
big time.
When we go for walks, there's literally, I feel like I'm like in a fairy tale, or I'm Snow White. Like the birds are flying like right next to me. The butterflies are here. I'm like, it's magical.
Oh yeah. I know, and that's probably one of the greatest things of COVID is like Mother Earth is so thankful. She's getting what she's needed for so long.
I know.
And, you know, I notice like when I wake up, when I come out of my bedroom, I can see out the balcony and it's like everything just looks clear. Like I have terrible eyes and I'm like seeing further. And I think it's because there's just not pollution. It's just so clear.
China, they said the sky has been blue. The sky is blue, and it hasn't been like that for, they don't even know how long because of all the pollution. Like, and that's only for how long have we been shut down? A month, 6 weeks?
Yeah, about 6 weeks. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, Michael and I, we actually on our walks, we're seeing like possums, like all random animals that we've never seen before. But there's animals all over, and dragonflies and all kinds of cool things. Yeah, yeah, it's really neat.
You and I are a lot alike, that we feel that God speaks to us through animals. And, you know, like when I'm walking, I since I've been pregnant with a baby, and before that, blue jays have been by my side. They'll fly above me, but they're everywhere all day, every time I step outside, in the most random places, Publix, like they're everywhere, you know. Wow. I know you feel the same. So we appreciate when we see that, because we also know they're carrying messages for us.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. I don't know. Do you remember when we went to the, that it was for a spirit guide meeting, that place in Jupiter somewhere. And she was telling us the animals that were with us.
Yes. Yeah. Dream angels.
Dream angels. That was the name of it. Yeah. But my family and my husband will tell you, and I know you know this about me, the moment I see an animal or something that's unexpected, a feather, I'm like, look up the spirit meeting. There's a message, you know? So I'm always like screenshotting the message and sending it to people. But
I do the same thing, and now it's cute. I've got Phil doing it. Phil will be like, we're on a walk, and like a turtle walks by. Phil's like, you should look that up. What does that mean?
I love it. I love it. It's awesome. It's so cool. I appreciated your live last night so much with Lauren. I know you guys talked about the Blue Jays, and it was just like her whole story was so beautiful.
It was, and her gift of sound and just how she brought everything together, and that whole experience. So many people, I have to tell her, Phil even went live today after one of his classes, and people were chiming in on that, how they were watching and how they loved it so much. So
really cool.
It was powerful. I know, and you're going to lead us through, I don't know, what time is it?
It's 6:40. I don't know if anyone has any questions. If so, maybe we'll do them now. And if not, we can go into a meditation.
Guided meditation. Yeah. And then if not, we could do it too after as well. Or we could do feedback after the meditation too.
Yeah, we can do that. I thought I feel like to do like a letting go meditation. So it'll be whatever comes to me, but we can get ready to go into that. And then after, if anyone has questions or feedback, we can do that before we wrap up.
I see people are very excited about a meditation. My little birds are chirping right now, usually in the morning. One of Phil's clients, the birds chirp so loud, I'll be upstairs, he's downstairs on FaceTime, I could hear the birds chirping.
Oh, really?
Yes, but he lives in the mountains, so he's like really in nature.
He's in it, yeah.
Hi,
everyone. Hi, Kimberly. Hi, husband, who's in the other room.
Oh,
Tracy. Lena. Yeah. So many people here. Thanks for joining us.
Yes.
All right. So we'll get ready to.
People love the washing dishes analogy.
Oh, yeah. And you can do it, I mean, in a hot shower, bubble bath. There's so many ways to have a mindful moment. Mm-hmm. So we will get ready to go into meditation and we'll see where it takes us. So if you will, I don't know, wherever you're sitting, you can just get comfy. I'm in my chair, so I'm going to be seated up. Usually I lay down, but I'm going to sit. And so if you'll close your eyes and begin just by feeling your feet planted on the ground. Feel your feet planted on the ground and put your hands on your thighs in an open position, indicating that you are ready to receive, you are open, you are willing. And as you sit here in whatever space you're in, with your feet on the ground, your palms open, your spine nice and long, your head tilted, I want you to begin to just slowly becoming aware of your natural breath. Begin to pay attention to your natural breath. Be here in this moment. And we'll take 3 deep breaths in and out. So we'll breathe in for 5 and out for 4. Breathe in and out. Breathe in. Breathe out. And allow yourself to go back to your natural rhythm of breathing. And now I invite you to begin to become aware with all of your senses. Start to focus on, what do you see? If your eyes are closed, you probably see an infinite black space. Maybe you see color. Maybe you see symbols. Maybe you see white. Become aware of, what do you see? In this moment, what do you hear? You hear my voice, perhaps the beat of your heart, your breath. What do you feel in this moment? Perhaps you feel the sensation of warmth, of comfort, your feet on the ground, your back on your chair. What do you taste in this moment? And as you sit here fully aware and awake with all of your senses, connected to the only time you have, I want you to begin to imagine a vacuum above your head. And this vacuum has the ability to pull out anything that no longer serves and support you. This vacuum has the ability to remove that which no longer serves and supports your highest and best self. So give yourself this time and space to really begin to visualize, what is it that you need to learn to release? What is it that it's time to let go of? Give yourself the time to think about what you need to let go of. Maybe you're holding on to something of the past that caused you pain, that caused you heartache, that caused you disappointment, frustration, or made you feel anything less than good. Maybe you're upset about something from yesterday, a week ago, a moment ago. Maybe you're holding on to self-limiting beliefs, the beliefs that tell you you're not good enough, you're not worth it. Life is too hard. I'll never get there. I'm less than. Whatever those beliefs are, whatever's holding you back, imagine the vacuum above your head and it removes everything out of you. It pulls it out of you and it goes into the infinite space of all that is. The energy is removed from you and it goes back into the universe. And it recycles itself and it comes back to you in the form of giving you exactly what it is that you need. And you're here in this moment, still aware and awake with all of your senses. And perhaps in this moment, you can feel your heart begin to expand. You begin to see yourself within space. You begin to feel yourself within space. And you start to slowly feel the power that lives inside of you. And maybe for the first time, you're beginning to really wake up. And in this moment, I want you to begin to visualize what it is that you would like to invite more of. What it is that you would like to invite more of. Maybe you feel like you need more time. Maybe you need forgiveness for yourself and for others. Maybe you want more love, more peace, more comfort. Maybe you want to feel whole again or for the first time. Maybe you're seeking the beliefs of I am good enough, I am worth it, I am worthy. I am lovable. I have enough. I am qualified. I am whole. Visualize that into existence starting now. See it, feel it, taste it, hear it, smell it. Bring it into your current experience, because if you can see it, you can feel it. If you can feel it, you can have it. Focus on your breath. Breathe in what you need. Breathe out what you don't need. Breathe in what you need. Breathe out what you don't need. Just one more time. Breathe in what you need. Breathe out what you don't need. And in this moment, I invite you to trust that the universe is here. She wants to support you. She's always guiding you, protecting you. The universe wants to co-create with you. Believe it, trust it. Know that you are worth it. And with deliberation and with intention, release what no longer serves you. Because when you release what no longer serves you, you allow space for that which you seek. And all that you seek is within. All that you dream of dreams of you. Feel it. And as you feel ready, I want you to slowly come back to this time and space. Take your time. Maybe you'll start by wiggling your fingertips. Move your feet. Stay connected to your breath and your senses and allow yourself to come back to now. And as you come back to now, know that you are supported in everything that you desire. It's yours. You have the power to let go, and every single moment is an opportunity to reconnect to your breath and start over. The time is now.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't want to get emotional. That was absolutely powerful. That was
you.
beautiful.
Love you guys. I feel expanded. I'm trying to come back too.
Yes.
Yes.
I know. I feel very zen now.
Yeah. Yes.
Everybody loves it. Yeah.
Amazing.
Very powerful. Very powerful.
Mm.
How long have you been leading meditations?
So, it's really funny. If someone would have told me again that I would one day be speaking in front of people, sitting here on a live, doing meditations, I would have laughed at you and said, bug off, there's no way, because of my own self-limiting beliefs, right? And the own chatter within me that often held me back. So I guess I would say it was really, I've been a part of meditations by myself for going on probably 2 or 3 years now. And I've even had opportunity to meditate collectively, like in groups, which is really powerful. But October of 2019, Dea, the vegan company, they were hosting this big event out at Founder Meet in California, which I was a part of. And they were like, hey, do you want to do a guided meditation for us? And I was like, oh, no. But, my higher self was like, you have to say yes. Right. My higher self was like, you have to say yes. And so I did it. Never had I ever led a guided meditation before, ever. But I just went with it, and I asked Spirit to guide me and to speak through me and to allow me to become a channel, and whatever comes out, comes out. And so I did it then, and then I felt like I'm okay to do this. It's safe to do this. And I think that there's space for me to do this, and so I'm doing it.
Beautiful. And I love that you just speak from your heart. That's, I don't know, nothing scripted, nothing. It's just coming through you. And I think that's why it is so powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. And I used to, you put that pressure of thinking like, oh, do I got to sit here and like memorize some meditation? But I'm like, it doesn't feel authentic. It doesn't feel right. I can't vibe with it. And so I just, whatever comes to me, comes to me. And sometimes it's 1 minute, sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 30 seconds. I don't know, but
right.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. So, I hope you're saving them. Are you recording them? Are you adding them to your podcast?
I'm going to. So now that was kind of the intention of the YouTube channel, is I really want to use it as a platform to offer guided meditation. So I'll start to record them and I'll share them. Yeah.
You should set up a space with all of your dad's artwork behind you and have like put a video with it. Seriously, as you're doing it. I think I would love to meditate to that.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to try to work on. I want to find a space in my home that becomes like, I have many little meditation corners, I call them. Yeah. But it's not really designed for me to, record, because they're just like whatever little corners. So I need to set up a space and make it work.
Or you should see our space. Phil does it in the living room, and we have one of my bohemian tapestries over the television. So it's quite hysterical.
Oh, it's great. Yeah. Does anyone have any questions or anything that you want to know of? Anything?
I see people chiming in how much they loved the guided meditation, and I see that Christina really wants you to do them more often.
I will. Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. Yeah.
So now, how can people get? Yes, I'm so grateful for your company. Yes.
Oh,
I'm so grateful for her company too. Sorry, my boobs look huge.
She's your mama. Are you breastfeeding?
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry,
that's
random question.
Breastfeed. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I have never pumped yet. It's all breastfeeding.
Good.
But where can people get this lovely shirt? Because I love it.
Yes. So you can find that on my website, which is themindfulliving.com. And you can also, the best way really to reach me is through Instagram. If you shoot me a DM and tell me you're interested in a shirt or workbook or any of my products and services, that's the quickest way to get a hold of me. And I am offering a special for any of Amber's peeps. If you are interested in the workbook, I am going to send you 10 free videos of me guiding you through the experience of the workbook, and all for $25, including shipping. So if you're interested, find me on Instagram.
That's awesome. That's a great deal. I love it.
Yeah.
People and Amber, what are your favorite yoga positions? People want to know.
Shavasana, because I just want to lay there.
I know. I love mine is child's pose. Oh my God.
No, child's pose for sure. I love pigeon. I find a lot of relief in pigeon. I love thread the needle. You know, there's something about my shoulders. It just feels really good. Child's pose for sure. But for my yoga practices, what I've been doing, and I'm actually really grateful again because COVID sparked this, is every morning I've been going on YouTube and just typing in like a 10-minute yoga flow, something really quick to start my day. Yeah. And there are so many amazing morning yoga flows for 10 minutes and they're free.
That's awesome. Yeah. I know. My body is like slowly, I feel like the Tin Man that like when I'm running, like I feel like my body's slowly getting back to what it was. Like after this C-section and that recovery was the most awful thing ever. I felt like all of me was like this. And I feel like I'm slowly like getting back into that. So yeah, I've been doing yoga after the workouts that Phil has. I've been doing yoga just to open back up, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. It feels so good.
People, child's pose. A lot of people love child's pose.
Yeah.
And it's so cute to see the baby now as he's moving because like kids naturally
do it.
Positions. They're like so flexible. It's crazy.
I know. Yeah. I'm going to message you. Oh, cool. She teaches mindfulness to a high school. That's amazing.
Oh, that is awesome.
What high school? My mom, you were a workout machine, she says. You were killing it.
I know. I had the best pregnancy. The delivery was awful.
I loved last night how you were sharing with Lauren how Antonio recognizes the sound because you did that when you were pregnant. That's so powerful.
You know what's crazy? This is going to give you chills. Our ultrasound technician is Chinese, so she had like a very thick accent. And I saw her because, oh gosh, probably around 6 months, we had some complications with my cervix. So I had to go more often to get ultrasounds just to make sure my cervix was staying a certain amount of length. It couldn't get too much shorter because then I would have to be on bed rest. So we were going to her every week. So he would hear her talk and she was so sweet. She was always doing like tons of photos for us because she just like loved us. So when we finally went after my C-section for my follow-up and we're in the office and she was finally there to meet him and she goes, oh my goodness. And she goes to look at him. He looked directly at her. She held him. He smiled. He knew, even the doctor said, he knows her voice.
Oh my gosh.
He 100% recognized it. And he is like, it was like his long lost friend. It was
wow.
Big ever. It's amazing.
That's amazing. I'm so proud of you, Amber.
I do mindfulness with my second graders right when we come in from recess with them. I put the lights down and we meditate. That's awesome.
That's amazing. I love hearing that. I keep hoping and visualizing that pretty soon all schools will be offering meditation. I know some schools I'm hearing, I believe in North Carolina I read, instead of detention or suspension, now they are asked to go meditate, which is like, it's beautiful.
They should.
Oh, absolutely.
They should. This says we do breathe in, breathe out breathe in the good and blow out anything that isn't good for us.
I like that. Yeah. Aww. That's so beautiful.
My thing is counting down. We have 1:30 left.
Yeah. You know what? Something I'll share with you guys too that I learned through this girl, Melissa, that I follow on Instagram. She teaches it and I was like, that's so cool. I'm going to start doing it. She uses her hand with her children. She does it for her and her children, but you go up. So breathe in, up, and then breathe out. Breathe up and then breathe out. And you trace your hand breathing up and down.
Yeah.
But
I love that.
It's really cool because something about the touching, it's soothing and you're also connecting to your breath. So that's a little tip if anyone's interested. I saw her doing it. Like, it's really cool. Yeah.
I love that. That's like a smaller version of mala beads.
Yes.
You know, going through the malas. But I love that for kids. I think that's
for kids.
I can't wait till Antonio gets bigger so that I can teach him all this.
Oh, I know. How cool. To be able to pour into him. Amazing. Phil is such a precious gift from all.
He is so cute. Great tip. Thank you. Yeah, Christina will probably use that.
Yeah, Christina, you can use that for you and your kitties.
I know.
Beautiful fam.
Well, before I get kicked off, I want to just thank you so much for being on with me tonight. It was so good to see you.
Me too. Thank you.
I'm so proud. I've gotten to watch the whole journey of all the books and everything for you and the podcast. And I'm just so excited for what's to come for your future. And I'm so proud of you. And I love you. And it's counting down on me. So
okay, love you. Thank you guys so much. Big love. Too.